oats. Quick, versatile, and free. Points, that is. Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Nikki, and today we are going to be talking about 3 oat recipes that are not your traditional oatmeal. Now, I've never really enjoyed eating oatmeal, but these recipes are actually pretty good. So I hope you try them for yourself. Let me know in the comments below if you do. Let's get into it. Okay, let's get started with recipe number 1, which is going to be a strawberry oatmeal breakfast cookie. For this recipe, you're going to need strawberries, of course, olive oil, maple syrup, oats, whole wheat flour, baking powder, and flax, and preferably fresh, but you can also use ground ginger. You're going to need some cinnamon, some salt, and I used some calorie-free sweetener. First, preheat your oven to 375 degrees. Then combine your wet ingredients. That's going to be your maple syrup or your sweetener, your olive oil, your vanilla. Unfortunately, I did not have vanilla, so I just used some vanilla oat creamer. Mix it all together. Then you're going to add your egg or your flax egg. Mix, mix, mix. Then add your freshly grated ginger, your whole wheat flour, some salt, some cinnamon, your oats, and give it another mix. This will form a very thick cookie dough batter. Try not to over mix. Next, you're going to add your strawberries. You can use fresh or frozen, but just make sure that you thaw out your frozen strawberries before you use them, and gently fold to combine. Now you're going to spray a cookie pan with some non-stick spray and form small mounds of cookie dough. I just used an ice cream scoop. This made 10 cookies for me. You may have more or less depending on the size of your ice cream scoop. Then right before you bake them, give them a little bit of a press down so they flatten slightly, and then throw them in the oven. You're going to put them in the oven for anywhere between 12 and 15 minutes. Try not to over bake these. They're best done a little bit underdone. Let them cool, and then you can plate them up. 1 cookie is worth 3 points. So this next recipe is going to be a strawberry banana oat bake. I did talk about this recipe in one of the vlogs that I will link here. For this recipe, you will need bananas, oats, baking powder, maple syrup, cooking spray, ground flax again to replace the eggs if you do not eat them, cinnamon, salt, and I again used frozen strawberries, but you can use fresh. First things first, we'll chop up the bananas and layer them in a single layer on the bottom of a baking tray that you have sprayed. Then we're going to layer all of the strawberries on top as well, and top it with 1 tablespoon of maple syrup. Cover it up and put it in the oven for 15 minutes. While that's baking, you're going to add oats, cinnamon, salt, baking powder to a bowl and mix that up. Then you're going to combine your wet ingredients into it. That's your oat milk, your maple syrup, and a little bit of vanilla, but again, I used creamer. Give it a good mix. The original recipe, it tells you to layer the oats on top of the strawberry and banana and then pour the wet ingredients over top. And I did try that the first time, but it ended up not combining at all and did not turn into a good bake. So I would recommend mixing all of the wet and dry ingredients to form a batter to pour on top instead. After you give that a good mix, just pour it over top of your hot strawberry and banana and then throw it back in the oven to bake for 25 to 30 minutes. This time you're going to leave it uncovered. When you pull it out, it should be ready to go. The total points per serving for this one is 3. Now this final recipe is going to be a chocolate cake of sorts. So this is the way to have your cake and eat it too. There are multiple different variations of this. I know that they were going around on TikTok for a while, but for this one I just chose to do a chocolate peanut butter recipe because I had some powdered peanut butter and it's very low points. you are going to need oats, non-dairy milk of choice, powdered peanut butter, cocoa powder, maple syrup or sweetener of choice, then again, flax as your flax egg, and a blender. You'll also need a ramekin. Preheat the oven to 350 degrees. Spray your ramekin. Make your flax egg by combining 1 tablespoon of flaxseed with 3 tablespoons of water. Mix it up and it should get gloopy like this. Then combine all of your ingredients into a blender. So your oats, your oat milk, powdered peanut butter, maple syrup or sweetener of choice, baking soda, cocoa powder. I added a little bit of cinnamon as well, and some salt, as well as your flax egg. If you choose to use a different sweetener other than maple syrup, you can dramatically decrease the amount of points this is. I didn't realize that it worked out to 7 points. So either you can half this recipe or you can substitute a sugar-free sweetener for the maple syrup, and that will drop it 3 points for a total of 4 points for this cake. Then blend it up until it forms a batter. This is the texture that you want. Pour the batter into your greased ramekin and pop that in the oven for 25 minutes. After 25 minutes, you're going to go in and check it. Make sure that a toothpick or knife comes out clean. In my case, it did not. So I'm gonna pop it in the oven for 5 more minutes. And it came out perfect. Take it out of the oven and you can either enjoy this hot or you can enjoy it the next day. All of these recipes are amazing because you can make them ahead, put them in the fridge, and then you are ready to go in the busy mornings. Also, my kids tend to be kind of fussy and they loved all of these recipes. So if you have picky eaters, try them out. Obviously, oats are free on my personal points plan, but they may not be free on yours. So just make sure they are before trying these recipes or the points will be different. Okay, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for being here. If you like this video, please consider subscribing and giving this a like. It really helps to support my channel. All right, we'll catch you in the next one. Bye.